Good morning. Happy Monday to all of you. Yay. Here we are. So let's see. I'm trying to make sure that we're live everywhere. Yes, we are now. So happy Monday. So glad to be here for Mindset Monday. Love being here with all of you on Mondays to start the week off for greatness, right? We want to have where we're intentional with where we're putting our energy and our focus, because where our energy, where our focus go, our energy flows, right? So as you come in, say good morning, good morning, good morning. And we are going to be talking about the way that we make choices that affect our performance and our happiness and productivity and all of the things. So good morning, good morning. Yay. As you come in, say good morning. All right, so we're going to dive right into it. I really want to talk today about looking at how our minds are the most powerful weapons that we have at our disposal, our greatest tools, but it also can be the thing that gets in the way of us overcoming adversity and achieving extraordinary accomplishments. If you can't learn to control your mind, which is a lot about controlling your state, then we're going to be a slave to its limitations, right? So today, that's looking at the choices that we have and the stories that we tell ourselves and the way that we put a lens upon the world and what we're experiencing. So we want to really start to think about how we can tap into having a growth mindset. And then one of the very first things about a growth mindset that is important is to know that you look at challenges as being something that are actually opportunities. So I want to think about something last week that was a challenge for you. So as we go through and we talk about the ways to prime your state for performance and productivity and to accomplish what you want to accomplish in Mindset Monday, we're always walking through the practices together. So that means I love to see your answers into the chat. So something that was challenging last week, resilient people view difficulty as a challenge. A growth mindset becomes a challenge. We even look at our failures and mistakes as lessons to learn from and opportunities for growth. So we want to lean into those. So what's something that was challenging last week that you could try to say, okay, if I look at this, I could try to find a growth mindset on this. And let's talk about, a growth mindset is believing that we can change and we can grow. So give me something in the comments. Let me look at the comments real quick. Growth, good morning, good morning, good morning. Finding time in the schedule to do a particular project. Okay, so that's a challenge. And how can you make this something that is an opportunity to learn? It's an opportunity to learn how to be more intentional. It's an opportunity to learn to model that for the people around you. It's an opportunity to figure out intrinsic motivation for something. So something that was challenging that you want to try to turn it into looking at how could I grow from this? How could I learn from this? So just gave you some examples on the one challenging frustrations around repetitive arguments. It seemed like we're in a trap of hurt feelings and blame. So what is that an opportunity for? And I can't see your names on the platform that I'm looking at. What is that an opportunity for? If I was in that situation, when I find myself, especially when I find myself in repetitive ways of thinking, it is an opportunity for me to slow down, to get still, to ask myself what's really going on with me, to try to figure a way of moving forward without repeating. So really looking at the source of what the wounded area is. So we're not projecting that again and again and again and looking for the opportunity there. So we sort of jumped in right with a challenge, didn't we, this morning? It's just because that's the primary way of looking at a growth mindset is knowing that you can look at the world with that there are opportunities in everything that you experience. So the opportunity, reframe my beliefs about what is happening to listen more to myself and to my partner. Yes, yes. And Because it's a repetitive pattern, it's really easy to fall into the default. So I have to really think about what is the alternative way of looking at this and practice it intentionally, because otherwise your brain's going to go to the default story that y'all have been stuck in, whatever that is. All right. So I want to move to, let me move back to my little banners. So one of the things that's really important for a growth mindset is this idea of commitment, that if you are committed to growth, then you can grow. If you believe that you have tapped out in something, then that's where you'll stay. So I want to ask you for this week, what do you want to commit to? How committed are you this week? And what are you committed to doing? So maybe you think about this in terms of goals, or maybe you think about this as something, how you're going. I like to think about, how can I push myself just a little bit outside my comfort zone? Little bit past. And we know for peak performance that actually is very important, to be doing something that is just a little bit outside our comfort zone helps you get into that flow state, because there becomes an intensity of focus because it's a little bit out of our skill set. And to grow out of that, we have to push a little bit. So what are you committed to doing this week? And you could think about that as goals, but I want you to think, I want to hear something that you want to step outside of your comfort zone on. So what will that be? And let's see, somebody commented, I'm committed to doing that project and another one, both which have been delayed for months. Okay, so for looking at that, I would ask yourself, why is it important to you? What are you committed to? So tapping into some intrinsic motivation, something that's been delayed for a long time, there might be some reasons underneath that, right? So really finding your motivation for being committed. What would this mean to you? What would the world look like differently if these projects were completed? How would that feel? All of these questions that I'm using are for all of you. When you think about, what are you committed to doing? Why do you want it? How would it feel? Visualize it. Like, think about, what would the world look like? How would it benefit you and others? Really tapping into some intrinsic, trying to find some motivation there. Extrinsic and intrinsic. So intrinsic comes into how it would feel to you. The extrinsic can be what benefit would it be to other people. So I see spending time with mom when she's being unreasonably upset, exhibiting dementia issues, on arguing with her. Okay, so that was a challenge, I'm sure, is what you meant by posting that. So I have the same situation in my family. And every time I find myself frustrated in that situation, I see it as an opportunity to practice compassion, an opportunity to practice compassion, an opportunity to step into the other person's shoes and to have compassion. And I find myself, every single time I do it, there's something that just shifts a little bit, that opens me up more to the experience of being present with it. So the question for my eldest child, why does my dad not care about me? This was such a challenge, as I did not have an answer immediately. I was black at the moment. It took me a while before performing sentences to answer positively. Wow, that's a tough one. This in itself could be an opportunity. Wow, what a gift your child has given to you. The fact that they expressed it so that you can have an opportunity to help, however that might be. You speaking with them, getting help that they might need in other ways. When our children are silent about things, it's really hard to figure out what they really need help for. It's a really big gift, but I also understand how challenging that could be. But looking at it as a gift that now you can do something with it. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So really, for back to talking about, I can't see your name. So who commented about the dementia, your mom with dementia, really understand, be calm and with her and be compassionate to model for my siblings. Yes. Yeah, and it also is something, it really is a gift to learn to step into compassion that way. I really want you to see that. It has been for me in my own journey with dealing um, with my dad and his dementia issues. So that's really good. All right. So let's move into the next thing. So good, guys. So thinking about what you're committed to, why, how would it feel? How would it benefit you and others? And growth mindset is all about like, if I give it the effort, I can achieve it. Right? It's believing that. And then the next thing is that whenever we're growing, we are learning. So growth equals learning. So what are you going to learn this week? I'm always thinking about what's the next thing to learn, right? So that is growth. So what is something that you're going to learn this week? I'm in a class, in a 12-week class right now. I am learning so much neuroscience and how the brain performs under certain conditions. Excited to come in and share those tips with you. It's been really, really, it's been challenging, but it has been really amazing to tap into learning that way. So, what's something you're going to learn this week? Think about it. It could be learning compassion. It could be learning to be more present with people. It could be learning time management. It could be learning project management for those that were talking about getting projects done. Commit to something, y'all. Really think about what do you want to learn this week? Let's see that into the comments. And how will you grow from doing that? How will you grow? Just wait, let's here we go. Comments coming in. Time management and patience. Yes, very, very, very good. Okay. And then I want you to think about I have a question for you. When you have been especially resilient, what was true about you? So I just want you to think about tapping in and growing your strengths. So let me see if I can put that question up. Let's see. There you go. Nope, that's not it. Being tricky this morning with my technology. When I've been especially resilient, what is true? What was true about me? What's a strength? What's a strength? I want you to honor that. That might be something that you actually use to tap in this week intentionally. More about time management. Yes. Want to learn to show more compassion. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. If you're catching this on the replay, you can put hashtag replay, come in and answer all these questions. I always love to come back in and high five you guys. Times when I've been resilient, I was physically at my best, namely well rested. Yeah. So a good way to look at that question. So if you look at it and see when I really was resilient, I was physically at my best. So maybe you use that to say, what could you be committed to this week so that you could be resilient? What would help you to do that? What would help you to step into that? Yes. Okay, good. Listen to a book about dementia for knowledge and tips. Very, very good. That's the thing you're going to use to learn. Let's hear some more strengths. When you've been resilient, what has been true about me? Um, I'd say for myself, I had to think about it for a moment. For myself, is that I didn't give up. I stayed committed. Often when others even were questioning around me, right? Can you get through this? I stayed committed to what I knew was from my heart. So that's what really makes me resilient. Resilience for me, I saw it, is being healthy, getting sleep, working out, building the muscle for push. All very, very true. It's hard to be resilient when you're exhausted, y'all. That's very, very true. Okay, so let me see what other question. Do you ask for help if you need it? This can be a big block for all of us who are overachievers, but recognizing that there are so many resources around you, and resources include people who may have wisdom that you need. Do you ask for help if you need it? I want you to think about, how could you ask for help this week? How could you ask for help this week? How many of you really do ask for help when you need it? Put that into the comments. And if you don't ask for help, what gets in the way of that? And thinking about, how could you ask for help this week? How could you ask for help this week? All right, you guys are catching up with me. Hold on. Let's see. Yep. Same question answers are coming in about that when you're most resilient is when you're taking care of yourself. So I challenge you all to commit to something that will help you to be that this week. And that really brings into the last part that I want to always be reminding you of. And I started it with this that I said where your focus is where your energy flows. And all of this about looking our focus, the lens that we put into the world, how we tell the story is all about like how to manage your state. Because if I believe I can, then I take action. If I believe I can't, then I act in a very different way, right? So I want you to decide your intention for the week. If you do work with me one-on-one with your teams, if you're in my leadership group, we're always setting intentions for who we are in any single moment. It is a choice. And even if you don't choose intentionally who you want to show up as, that is also a choice. So who do you want to be this week in the world? What's the impact that you want to have? Finding one word that would really tap into that for you, that you could use it as a GPS, as a monitor of like a compass. Am I there? Okay. So just take a moment. Let's do a little bit of really tapping into that from a place that's not brain center and more heart center so that you're showing up for who you really want to be. And we can just do that by taking a moment to center in. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath in and out. Long, slow exhale. And then just bring your awareness to the center of your chest. And imagine you could follow your breath in and out here at the heart space. This practice, focusing in, using your intention to focus on your breath, imagining you can follow it in and out at the heart space, is a way for you to become more coherent so that you're making choices from a coherent as opposed to a incoherent or chaotic space, or from a fear space. And from this space, I want you to answer the question, what's one word that describes who I want to be this week, how I want to hold myself? And let's see. Oh, we got lots of words here. Productive, present, peaceful, grace. I love grace. Loving, mindfulness. Yes. Another loving. Beautiful, y'all. So use that word, right? I want to be joyful this week. I want to be playful in my work this week. So use that word as a compass to decide, check in. Where are you? Before, use it lunchtime. How am I today? Did I stay where I say I was going to be? And if I'm not there, what's a choice I can make that can help me to get there so that in the next interaction I walk into, that I am really intentional about who I am. All right. Always great to be here with you. If you're catching this on the replay, #replay. Love, love, love being with you on a Monday morning. Really sets up my week for greatness also. Have a great one, everyone.